Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our press conference. Today, we're very excited to announce the launch of a new major at Johnson & Wales called the Counseling Psychology major. Today, we have Professor Mary Dias, who currently teaches psychology and sociology at the school, to speak with us. She was not only involved in the creation of the program, but she's involved in a lot of other organizations and clubs throughout the community. She's also an active member of the Rhode Island community and is a native Rhode Islander. So, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Professor Mary Dias.
Oh, thank you, Dad. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be spokesperson today for our program. When I talk about the program, I often say that we all felt as if we gave birth, because that's how much time and effort it took. Not that any of you can identify with that, but at some point in time, perhaps when you're later, you say, oh, this is what she meant. So I've been asked to just kind of talk about myself for a bit. My name is Mary Dias, and I'm an associate professor currently in social sciences, but in September I will be an associate professor of counseling psychology. It's really kind of funny, and you guys may not appreciate this yet. Can you hear me? No, I'm into the mic. Okay. You may not appreciate this yet, but you will. I think it's the Tao of Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, when he says, if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else. Well, I knew where I was going, and I still ended up someplace else, because my life has come full circle. And full circle, I started off very much like you, with a bachelor's degree. I wanted to be an English teacher, so I majored in secondary education, grade 7 through 12, in English, and I was going to go out and change the world. With all my English skills, my concentration was creative writing. And guess what? There were no jobs. It sounds familiar, huh? So I started subbing. And I was subbing in a middle school where everything was pretty much just discipline. And I was very frustrated because I wanted to teach creative writing. At the time, a job opened up, and it was a career counselor position, which I really didn't know anything about, but they were going to provide training, and it was a full-time position, so I took it. It was with the city of Cranston, and I was doing career counseling. And from there, I was also pursuing my master's degree in English, thinking, okay, I still have this kind of passion for creative writing. I'll just get my master's degree, and I'll teach English at the college level. And the worst thing they can do is fall asleep in my class. They're not going to throw paper airplanes and beat up on each other. So I was wrong about that as well. So I was just finishing my master's degree in English. I was doing career counseling in the city of Cranston, and I was offered a position as a supervisor at the state level for the counselors. So I did my last class of my master's in English and went right into the master's in counseling psychology. So I was being a little bit reactive as opposed to proactive. Oh, I'm in this field now, I better get a degree in counseling. So I did, and I found, ironically, I actually found a strong relationship between English and counseling. I realized that what I loved about English and creative writing was the characters. And now I have real characters that I was working with. So I did that for a considerable amount of time. And when I finished my master's degree, I was offered an adjunct position teaching psychology, because I have a master's degree in counseling psych. And then I realized I was being a little more proactive and realized that to teach at the college level, I was going to have to get a doctorate at some point in time. So at a very early age of 50, I went on to pursue my doctorate, and I got my doctorate in educational leadership because I wanted something general that I could apply. And I have a great deal of passion for teaching and learning as well. So when I finished my doctorate degree, Johnson & Wales offered me a position teaching psychology and sociology, which I took. And the time came where Vice President Sinise wanted to pursue or look at the possibility of a counseling psychology degree. Initially, the university was going to hire consultants, and they found out that there were 4 of us in the department who all had master's degrees consultants to put the program together. So that's how I ended up being right back into counseling again, so it's kind of full circle. Courtney mentioned some of the other things that I do. I volunteer teaching at men's maximum security prison. I teach a course called Changing Lives Through Literature. Again, everything ties together. But it's using literature as a conduit for self-directed change. So I'm still using literature, but I'm using a psychological bent with it. I'm also a CASA volunteer. I don't know if anyone's familiar with CASA. That acronym stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. So what that means in a nutshell is I represent children who are in DCYF, Department of Children, Youth and Families, in custody. I represent only the children. I do family visits. This is volunteer, by the way. Family visits, meet with the teachers, meet with pediatricians, anybody who's associated with the child, home visits, and then I represent the children in family court. I'm on the board of directors of the Lindsay Ann Burke Fund, which is Lindsay was being rewarded by her ex-boyfriend, when she was 23 years old. They found her in the boyfriend's bathtub. He had stabbed her 57 times. And so I get chills just saying that. But once again, Lindsay's mom has been quite a role model for me, even though she's younger than I am. She wanted to do something about it, and she pursued the Attorney General and got a bill passed for the state of Rhode Island, Lindsay Ann Burke Law, and it mandates all public schools to provide a graded violence curriculum for grades 7 through 12. Not just a workshop, but integrated into it. Since that point, 6 other states have adopted the Lindsay Ann Burke Law, and now we've made a DVD for training their teachers. And I'm sure there's a lot of other things, but those are the most common things that I spend my time on. And I do a lot of service learning stuff. Where is that picture, by the way? Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, well, the picture that's in the president is me as a head on a platter in a spooky fun house, and that's just an example of, I like to get my students involved. I like psychology to come alive. I like sociology to come alive, and I'm certainly going to want counseling psychology to come alive. So with that said, that's who I am. Questions? I know. How are you?
How long did it take to design the picture?
How long did it take? On and off, close to a year and a half. And there were 4 of us. So that includes working on our own and then working together. Yes?
Can we talk about what other courses required for the program? How will it differ from other courses at JU or universities?
Okay. Actually, in designing this program, we had to design 15 new courses that were not in existence, and that's really very time-consuming. We have a great deal of experiential courses, and I'm sure you all know what I mean by that, applying the skills in the class. So we have intro to group counseling, intro to crisis intervention, counseling theories and techniques. One of the ones that I designed that I'm particularly fond of is called neuropsychology and psychopharmacology. And that is teaching counselors the basic background of the medications that people are prescribed, whether they be anti-anxiety benzodiazepines, whether they be anti-depression medication, antipsychotics. Not that a counselor would ever be in a situation to prescribe that, but there are a lot of side effects from all this medication. So as a counselor, we might refer someone to a psychiatrist or a nurse practitioner for medication. And then they come back to you for the actual counseling, and you need to be aware of the side effects and the ramifications of the medication. So that's what I'm most proud of. How do they differ from other courses? They don't really differ, I don't think, in the way that other schools are set up, because you know that we are a career university, and so one of the things we had to do was do a labor market analysis to make sure that there are jobs in this field when people graduate. So the upfront work was primarily decided that we wanted to have concentrations, which many of you have. So then we looked at which subcategories in the counseling psychology field were growing at the fastest rate. We found that addictions or substance abuse counseling was growing exponentially, over 21% by the year 2018. Mental health counseling was growing 26%. And then career/school counseling was growing at the rate of 14%. And I think that's because in that category is not just career counseling, but it also includes school counseling. And because those are unions, it kind of keeps the percentages down. Did I answer your question?
In designing this new program and these new courses, what were some of the difficulties or challenges that you faced with your team?
Well, we had animated conversations on what the concentration should be, because we all have kind of a passion for a particular concentration, but our passion might not match what the Bureau of Labor Statistics was saying. And one of the things that I really wanted were special topics, and it didn't go through. But I think it might. Just as a caveat here, I just returned from New Orleans, where I went to the American Counseling Association just to see what was on the horizon for the field. And what I found was all of the workshops concentrated either on counseling the military and their families, counseling LGBT, so gender issues, and using technology in counseling. So I feel a little bit irritated that when I come back and say, okay, we really need to have a special topics course because this is what I saw nationally. Some of the other, I won't say difficulties, but cumbersome kind of work was, in order to design a program for a university, not only do you have to look at, and I'm sure you're aware of this as marketing people, not only do you have to look at, okay, are there jobs out there, but what's our competition? So we had to, Johnson & Wales has universities throughout the country that are very similar to us. So we had to research all of them to see what they were offering, and also look at the local universities to see what they were offering. Because if we had competition, if Rick was offering a bachelor's degree in counseling psychology or Providence College, then it would be problematic. So what we found was, very interesting, that Rhode Island College has a bachelor's degree in co-occurring disorders. Almost every university that we looked at, except for UMass had master's degrees in counseling psychology, not bachelor's. Almost everybody had a bachelor's degree in psych, but not a bachelor's degree in counseling. So you should be asking the next question. Yes?
Can students outside of the degree take some other courses, like arts and sciences?
That's up in the air right now. We have 417 applicants for the program. 49 have been accepted, and they don't have the statistics yet of how many of those are incoming freshmen and how many are transfers. So it would depend on, we're a little light on faculty right now. So that would depend on if there's room for it. Yes?
What kind of internships are you looking for this major?
Well, it kind of depends on